All right, gang, we're back for some more practice. So, ethyl methanoate. Let's attack this. Well, the methanoate means that this was from the methanoic acid. Okay. So that's going to be where the carboxyl group's attached. And again, I don't like the blue-red coloring that the book did, but we'll just follow that format too. Okay, the coloring really doesn't actually matter. Methanoate. So that's where the COO piece is. Okay. And then ethyl, well, that's just 2 carbons long, isn't it? So this would have been generated from the reaction of ethanol plus methanoic acid. Now, I'm not requiring that you know that for this question, but it's just important to know. So if we take a look here, CH2, oh, sorry, ethanol, CH3, and I'll just show this how this works, okay? So we got a dehydration synthesis going on here, okay? And we'll take a closer look at this reaction mechanism on Monday. Methanoic, so that's only 1 carbon, okay? It's pretty small. This is also called formic acid, as we discussed, okay? So that's its old-timey name, and that's where fire ants get their sting from, okay? As opposed to how sharp their teeth are. All right, now, does it matter which H and OH get ripped off? Not actually, really actually doesn't matter which one's which, but just for the heck of it, to give the props to the acid or the OH to the acid, I'm going to go like this. We're going to pull that there and pull that there, okay? And that's going to give us this thing of ethyl methanoate, okay? So CH3, oh, there should be a CH2 there. Sorry about that. CH2 to the O to the C, double bond, H. There you go. Okay. So that's the methanoate piece. I think I was using this guy to kind of highlight that bit, right? And then this dude here, ethyl. Okay. So there's your ethyl. And there's the methanoate chunk. Okay, and I hope the color coding is helping make this a bit clearer. Okay, so it's a 2-part name, and notice the space between the name. Okay, so there has to be space there for ethers. Okay, or sorry, ethers, esters. Man, what the fruitcake. All right, throw the kids off. Why don't you? Okay, let's attack these guys. All right, they some of them look more complicated than the others. Let's go for where the acid is first. Okay. So we're going to go there. That's clearly where the acid is. And then the alkyl group that's hanging off of it that would have come from the alcohol. Okay, so clearly that's an ethyl. There it is. All right, and then our acid, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So instead of pentanoic acid, this is now a pentanoate. And again, I like to build my pieces properly, step by step. Don't rush. You see what happens when I rush. Well, it happens when you rush, and then, you know, if it counts, then I got to take marks off, unfortunately. So ethyl space pentanoate. There you go. All right. Now there are more complicated ones, but we're just taking these baby steps for now. Again, grade 12, right? And if you want to see more complicated examples, by all means, look them up. Okay. Now we got this funkadelic line diagram one here. Okay, again, start with the acid. Okay, go to the O. There's your O8 group there. And then we'll just kind of, I'll just sort of zigzag and do the staircase thing. And then we can just start to count carbons. Okay, so there's 1 carbon there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So this is decanoate. Okay, and you got this little stick hanging off there, and we know that to be a methyl. So put it together for the ester name, methyl space decanoate. All right, and again, I hope my color coding is helping you see these bits clear. All right, and again, make sure there's a space between those two. All right, that actually, you get a mark for that. Okay, well, look at this. Here we go. There's our formic acid. All right, derivative, so methanoate. Okay, now here's a situation, right? So you have this long one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could call this 1-butyl or N-butyl, but our textbook, we just know from the note that if we just call it butyl, it's implied that it's just that straight chain. But if this was pentyl, we would actually have to put the number. And I can do an example where we look at it that way as well. All right, so we're going to call this butyl methanoate. And if I just say butyl by itself, we know that that's the butyl that's just a straight chain, as opposed to the others. So this is why you want to make sure that you've locked in all those other alkyl groups. Methanoate. There you go. Okay. So attack the acid first, and then look at your alkyl group. Or look at your alkyl group first, and attack the acid piece second. Okay. But that's fine. Let's zoom over to this dude. All right, there's our benzyl deal, benzoic acid. So benzoate. Boom, boom. Like that. And that came from benzoic acid. So you should actually be able to just look at these things and go, okay, that's what it came from, right? So benzoate. And then, of course, our just straight chain of 3 carbons long is just your basic propyl. Okay. If you said N-propyl, that wouldn't be wrong either, but the new naming system is you don't have to actually say that. So we're just going to call this propyl. And that's important because this could be isopropyl benzoate. That's another option, right? Benzoate. Okay. So that's how we name that dude. Okay. And again, I just want to cross-check things because sometimes I make mistakes. I want to make sure, check, double check, and recheck. All these little rules, regulations, and we're good to go. There's your name. Okay, draw the structures. Here we go. Methyl hexanoate. Okay, cool. So let's get drawing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 6 is where we're going to put our carboxyl group. But instead of having an H, we're going to put the methyl group, CH3. Okay, and even if you want to, color code that, go for it. Have at her. I won't mark you wrong if you do. Okay. Don't include your carbon numbers though when you're drawing these. Okay, but this is just to help double check and again for practice that you can actually see those steps. So there's your methyl and the space. Keep the space. Okay, methyl benzoate. All right. Well, benzoate. Okay, so that's our derivative of benzoic acid, and as I've said before with benzene, no matter what, you can draw it just like that, no problem. And then we'll draw the carboxyl group or carboxate group is we can call it as well, right? Like that. That's the benzoate piece, and then methyl and CH3. There it is there. Okay. So I hope just, again, with practice, this stuff starts to just click. And if you color code it as well, that helps your brain just remember, because the left brain can be a bit slower at times, whereas the right brain can see in color and turn these things into pictures. So there's your benzoate piece, and there's your methyl piece. Okay, and that's it. There you go. So that's some practice with naming these guys, and I hope that helps you with your homework.